How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Real Lord Reviews. I am John Lord. Today, if you couldn't tell by the title of the video, we are going to be continuing the Anaconda series with the 2004 standalone sequel, Anaconda. The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. This time around, we follow a team of pharmaceutical researchers into the jungles of Borneo to find a rare flower that could just unlock the drug version of the Fountain of Youth. And I'll just get this out of the way immediately. I genuinely enjoy this movie. I actually think it's leaps and bounds better than the original. But before we begin, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff that will help this channel grow. If you want to. I mean, if you don't, I'm not gonna make you or anything. So, with that out of the way, let's get into it with the pros. And right off the bat, the overall basic premise of this movie is just immediately more hooking and intriguing than the original. It adds stakes, it adds some mystery, and it adds that classic sense of adventure that I feel like was really missing from the first one. As I said in the previous review, I am a big fan of animal attack, creature feature, monster movies, however you want to term them. And I am a big fan of jungle movies as well, so this one does provide a pretty nice dose of both here. And this sequel does exactly what I would want out of a creature feature jungle adventure, and it does it with enough charm that honestly, this is one of those movies that I've seen so many times I could throw it on and have fun just watching it, or just throw it on in the background if I just wanted some noise. Next, the cast here is surprisingly solid. I mean, let's be honest, no one here is going to be winning an Oscar, and the characters are pretty paper thin depth wise, but I enjoy a lot of the actors here, and I'm one of those people who is more forgiving on shallow characters if they're played by people that I enjoy seeing, and I think almost everyone here does really well. Almost. You've got Johnny Messner here, who you might recognize from Running Scared or Hostage, and he's here playing the basic generic. He's an ex-soldier trying to escape his past, and he does pretty well here. And he's got a really cool voice too, so that helps him a lot. Carl Yoon is in this, and he's really good as the right-hand man to Messner's boat captain. He has some really entertaining moments of levity while also having a more serious side to him. I love Morris Chestnut, and he's a delight in anything he's in, really, and this movie is no exception to that. I like him, and I like his character. Matthew Marsden is a pretty underrated actor, and he does really well as the villain here. Kind of stock, generic once again, but he does well with what he's given, and especially comparing this role to his role a few years later in the Rambo sequel, Rambo. It's pretty crazy to see. I really like Katie Strickland, and she's good here as a young, ambitious climber in the pharmaceutical field. She does really well. Sally Richardson Whitfield, who I know from Black Dynamite, is probably the most bland character here, and just in the sense that she's not really given anything much to do or to stand out. Although I do really like her little back and forth with Morris Chestnut throughout the movie. Kong, the Capuchin monkey, is an adorable sidekick. I'm really glad he didn't die like they teased. Next, this movie has got some genuinely tense and thrilling scenes, in particular the boat going over the waterfall scene, the swamp sequence where they're walking through waist-deep water as an anaconda circles them below is actually really suspenseful. The cave sequences have some really nice atmosphere, and the finale showdown where they have to cross a fallen tree over a pit full of anacondas to finally reach their destination of this orchid is genuinely gripping. Which leads into my next positive, which is for a 2000s creature feature, the direction here feels noticeably improved over the first one. It just feels a lot sharper and a lot less clunky. And finally, while the score isn't anything iconic, it's a lot more memorable and fitting to the situation and vibe they're going for than you would really expect out of this type of movie. And now, into the mixed feelings category. There's definitely some spotty early 2000s CGI here that isn't the best. Thankfully, they're smart enough to minimize that while also adding in some practical work as well, that it's not it doesn't stand out too bad. And it's nowhere near as terrible as some of the other movies are, especially from this era. But going along with the fact that they minimized on the CGI, it actually also feels like they minimized on the snakes in general. And I don't mean the size. For a movie called Anacondas, it's like 45 minutes into the movie before you actually get to see one, and then after that it's like another half hour before you get more. Personally do appreciate the less is more approach that movies like this take, but in this case it just seems like it was a bit too lacking. And now into the cons. This film has a pretty uneven pace going on. There are some scenes that feel like they're dragging on for a bit too long, and then there's other scenes that feel rushed through that just weren't given a chance to breathe as they should have. And just like the original, we once again have dumb characters do dumb things. If the characters in this movie used their brain for 5 minutes, the movie would have been over in 10. And Eugene Bird as the comedic relief technician really goes for it here. And sometimes he's really funny, but oftentimes it's just way too much. Especially in the tense moments, the tone really clashes when you have all the crazy things going on around them, and then he's still making little quips. It's not enough to ruin the movie, but I just wish they had dialed it back just a touch or two. And that's it for the cons, which leads us to the bottom line. Now, this is by no means a masterpiece, but it is definitely a better than you would expect adventure jungle romp with giant snakes, fun characters, and some seriously strong sequences. If you like creature features or jungle expedition movies, this one is an absolutely slithering good time. I'd go 3.25 stars out of 5. So what were your thoughts on Anacondas, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid? Do you agree? Disagree? Both? Neither? Head on down to the comments section and let me know and we can discuss it. We'll continue the series around Christmas time when the new one is released, and then we'll act like Anacondas ourselves and wrap this all up with one big ranking of all 5 movies in the series. Thank you all so much for watching. See ya. Onomatopoeia.